I don't want to go on a rant here. What the hell does rant mean?
I don't have any cool clips that go with episode 12, so
That's
I'm just gonna have to go with that. But I do have stuff on tap. I got my taste test already. A little preview. I found it.
Oh, where'd you find it?
Spark, same gas station. I went in there, took a chance again. I was like, if I have to go in here and get another soda I don't want, but they had it. They also had the sugar-free version, but I passed on that garbage.
Is there really a difference between the sugar-free? Like, can you taste the difference?
Yeah, I can taste the difference between like Coke and Coke Zero. It's just not good without sugar. But Alex swears it's like the same thing, but it's disgusting. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Wasn't good. Pepsi Zero Sugar, not good.
You need the diabetes.
Yeah, sugar makes everything better. So that's the way to go. So let's start off. Remind us what our unusual death was last week.
Do you actually remember it, or I have to really remind you? You have no recollection.
It was. I don't remember at all. So wasn't it like kind of like the molasses flood, something like that?
Kind of the London beer flood. London beer flood,
something like that.
So a little backstory on the London beer flood. So this happened in 1814, but in the early 1800s, the Mcbeal brewery. I don't even know if we're pronouncing that right. Meux, Meux. The Mcbeal brewery was one of the two largest in London. In 1809, Sir Henry Meux purchased the Horseshoe Brewery. His father, Sir Richard, had previously owned a brewery in which he had constructed the largest vat in London, capable of holding 20,000 barrels of alcohol.
The largest.
So Henry emulated his father's large vat and constructed a wooden 22-foot tall vessel capable of holding 18,000 barrels, with 81 metric tons of iron hoops being used to strengthen the vat. They only brewed one porter, which was a dark beer that was the most popular alcoholic drink in the capital. So I'm just going to say, if you're only doing one thing, you better do it really well.
You also needed 18,000 gallons or 18,000 barrels.
Give people some fucking variety. You just have to do one thing and have so many thousands of gallons of barrels of that. Do something different, you fucking idiots. Like, do something different.
Wasn't variety back then.
Apparently not. At the rear of this brewery, at the adjoining streets and a cul-de-sac, was the St. Giles Rookery, which covered an 8-acre area. So, a little backstory on what the brewery was. At around 4:30 in the afternoon on October 17th, 1814, George Crick, great name, Crick, the brewery's storehouse clerk, saw that one of the 700-pound iron bands around a vat had slipped. Wow. That seems like a big deal to me. I'm just
700 pounds.
700-pound iron band is like slipped down. The 22-foot tall vessel, remember that 22-foot tall wooden vat, was filled to within 4 inches of the top, with 3,555 barrels of 10-month-old porter weighing 33 tons. 33 tons of dark beer.
That's a lot of beer.
As bands apparently slipped off the vats 2 to 3 times a year, Crick was unconcerned. That's fine.
How do you fix that? 700 pounds.
He told his supervisor about the problem, but was told that no harm whatever would ensue.
At least he told somebody.
Crick was then told to write a note to Mr. Young, one of the partners of the brewery, to have it fixed later. Not a big issue right now. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Should have just texted him.
It should have.
Got it faster.
An hour after the hoop fell off, an hour. And remember, this happens 2 to 3 times a year and never an issue. An hour after the hoop fell off, Crick was standing on a platform 30 feet from the vat, holding the note to give to Mr. Young when the vessel burst.
I'm guessing he died.
No, he didn't.
How's that possible?
The force of the liquid's release, that just sounds sexy. The force of the liquid's release knocked the valve from a neighboring vat, which also began discharging its contents. Several hogshead, which I learned was large barrels, of porter were destroyed and their contents added to the flood.
So they had a bunch of barrels of that stuff, and then they also had that giant vat full of the same stuff.
A giant vat full of the same stuff, and then another vat which was smaller that the valve came off because of the thing burst. So all this liquid, nearly 300,000 gallons or 1 million liters of beer was released in this flood.
I don't want a liter of cola. I don't want a liter of Farva. I want a goddamn liter of cola.
300,000 gallons. The force of the liquid destroyed the rear wall of the brewery. The wave of beer was like a tsunami. It was 15 feet high. It swept into New Street, where it destroyed 2 houses and badly damaged 2 others.
Only 2? Wow.
In one of the houses, a 4-year-old girl,
Aw.
Hannah Banfield, was having tea with her mother and another child. The wave of beer swept the mother and the second child into the street. Hannah, unfortunately, was killed.
Aw.
In the second destroyed house, a wake was being held by an Irish family for a 2-year-old boy. Anne Seville, the boy's mother, and 4 other mourners, Mary Mulvey and her 3-year-old son, Elizabeth, her 3-year-old son, Elizabeth Smith, and Catherine Butler, didn't see the comma there, were all killed. So they're at a funeral mourning the death of a child, and then a beer tsunami comes and drowns you. Insane. Eleanor Cooper, this is probably the worst death of it. Eleanor Cooper, a 14-year-old servant, died when she was buried under the brewery's collapsed wall while she was washing pots in the pub's yard.
14-year-old servant.
14-year-old servant. Another child was found.
There's so many children
There's,
living near the fucking brewery.
I wish I did.
The fucking Griffin kids live there too. Jesus.
The land around the building was low-lying and flat. With insufficient drainage, the beer flowed into cellars, many of which were inhabited, and people were forced to climb on furniture to avoid drowning. All of those in the brewery survived.
How do you fucking survive the initial blast if you're standing at the fucking tank?
All of them survived, although 3 workmen had to be rescued from the rubble.
Only 3? That's impressive.
Overall, 8 people were killed, including 4 children. The coroner's inquest reached a verdict of an act of God, so the brewery did not have to pay any compensation.
Wow.
The
helicopter company who Kobe died in also said it was an act of God. They use that same exact phrase.
The brewery stayed open another 107 years, finally closing in 1921, and Mew Company stayed in business for another 150 years until liquidating in 1961. But as a result of the accident, large wooden tanks were gradually phased out and replaced by concrete tanks.
I would think so. And now what are they, fucking stainless steel? Probably.
Yeah, and the one thing I did find out was claims that the death toll resulted from beer greedy drunks wading into the flood and dying of alcohol poisoning is not true, because the area where the flood happened was home to many poor Irish laborers, and the people of London hated those people. So if that type of thing actually happened, it would have been reported upon heavily within the news. But they said that all the crowds were well behaved.
Yeah, I don't think people would be drinking the fucking gross ground beer.
I probably would.
Kind of disgusting. You wouldn't even eat fucking a chip you dropped on the floor for like half a second. You're not drinking fucking beer that's been on the ground. No chance.
I'm not a big fan of dark beer. Like, I don't like lagers and things like that. So I don't think I would like that type of beer. So that is the London beer flood, which I actually think isn't, while it had more volume of liquid than the Great Molasses Flood, I feel like the Great Molasses Flood was worse because you're getting stuck in that sticky shit.
Yeah, and there seem to be more people in that area. That's depressing. Well,
it's an unusual death. It's not going to end on a happy note.
It's unusual deaths. 4 children. It's disgusting. All right.
And they drowned, so that's the first time they ever got to taste beer, and it killed them.
Yeah, beer's gross. Not a fan. All right, so
Did you see the TikTok of somebody
of the Great Molasses Flood?
I wish. Having a Miller Lite with 7-Up on ice, and apparently it's great, and it doesn't taste like beer.
He didn't say it didn't taste like beer. He just said it was good.
Yeah, he chugged that, though, so I don't think it tasted like beer.
Well, I mean, people chug beers.
No, but the way he drank that on ice, I feel like it wasn't tasting like beer. It was really tasting like a frothy 7-Up.
That's what all those TikTok idiots do. They fucking mix drinks and then they just chug it. They don't try to taste it. It would be like if I chugged this and like didn't even get a taste test. So I got this fucking thing. They covered the label with it's something Kaplami, Kaplamali marshmallow. This one's from Turkey. This is what it looks like. It looks like I don't even know how to describe this.
Is that like a
I don't know if it's coconut on top or if that's like marshmallow. I don't
Is
know.
that like, it looks like a powdered donut.
It's very strange. It's got like the cookie on the bottom, and then there's this flake. This one's from England.
You trying all three of those?
This is from because I have way too much shit. I have to start doubling and tripling it up. So this is
We can have this drag out to episode 164.
This is from Turkey, and this is from England. So I'm gonna try the normal Mountain Dew. Let's see. It is Dew Spark with a blast of raspberry lemonade. Raspberry lemonade flavor with other natural flavors. So looks like pink lemonade.
It's their bold and exciting take on the classic raspberry lemonade flavor you love.
Smells like Crystal Light. Remember the fucking Crystal Light packets?
I used to love those. Then I got really into Mio. I said Mio, not Neo.
Fucking Neil Anderson. So yeah, it smells like Crystal Light. So let's give this a shot.
Carbonated Crystal Light.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Carbonated Crystal Light.
Yeah.
It didn't even look carbonated when you opened it.
Raspberry lemonade. It's like a touch of lemonade. Because lemonade makes me like fucking. When I drink lemonade, it makes you like phlegmy and stuff. Like I'm not a huge fan of lemonade.
Well, that's why some like Gatorades do that too, like the red or blue. Like they always so it feels like such a thick syrup.
Yeah. All right. So which one should I try first? The chocolate or whatever the hell this thing is?
I say go for the chocolate.
I like marshmallow, so I'm hoping it's good. But let's see. See if you can look up Flake. It's called Flake, and it's the crumbliest, flakiest milk chocolate by Cadbury. So it shouldn't be ridiculous. Shouldn't be anything crazy. Wow, it's fucking everywhere. I should have prepared better. Let me get.
I found a commercial on YouTube from 2000 something about the Cadbury Flake.
This is what it looks like. I'm trying to not get it all over the computer. It looks like kind of looks like
a wafer.
Really thin shit. Let's see. Smells it's that instant you get that Cadbury chocolate. Like so good. All right, let's give this a shot.
It's thinly folded milk chocolate. It has a unique crumbly texture and softens, but does not melt when heated. It doesn't melt if you heated it.
There's no way that's possible. So it's I was expecting it to have like a crunch, but it's just like flaky chocolate. So you get it, you bite into it and it's soft.
Well, don't finish it because now later you have to stick the rest of that in the microwave and see if it melts.
Well, it like melts in your mouth as soon as you start eating it.
And it says it softens, but does not melt when heated. I'm really curious about that. Whoa, I just got way too close to the camera. I was like,
it's like a Cadbury chocolate. If you just flake pieces off, that's pretty good.
You're like a Cadbury chocolate if you flake pieces off.
Now, I wish Cadbury eggs, there's nothing better than that shit. I wish they would make those all year round. I'd buy them all the time.
See, I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like
except they're fucking like $1 each. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
I don't like the cream filling.
Oh my god, it's the best part.
Kate loves them. I'm not a big fan. She loves those the mini Easter eggs that you can buy, like the little Cadbury mini eggs.
Those are good.
That are just like the hard shell with the chocolate inside.
Oh, the hard shell ones. Those, yeah.
She's also really, really into Peeps, but she'll only eat the Peeps if they're stale.
That's disgusting because
she lets them get hardened.
They're not good, like just normal. I don't hate them as much as a lot of people do, but I would never buy those. All right, can you look up this one? Oh my god,
spell it for me.
Covered. KAPLAMALI marshmallow. Looks like the company is HINDIST, and then the rest is covered by the label. But it's marshmallow.
Is that a sprinkled marshmallow biscuit?
That's what it looks like.
It says the colorful world of Coco Mel with great biscuit and marshmallows, never forgettable.
Yeah, it's like a little mushroom. It looks like coconut on it, but actually,
I'm kind of concerned about this. I'm getting a lot of things that are not in English right now because I know it's from Turkey. I can't translate.
I can't tell if it smells like coconut. Let's just give this a shot. What's the worst that can happen? I drop dead live.
I wish. Is it soft? It seems like it's soft.
It's the texture of a marshmallow.
What's it have the taste of?
There's like no taste. It's just like nothingness.
Is it like powder on the outside?
I think it's coconut. It smells like coconut, but there's no coconut taste. This is weird.
It seems very dry.
It is. Let me just go for the rest of it.
Don't choke to death.
Yeah, it's
Like, sometimes if you have like a powdered donut, if you have too much of it, you start choking on it. I think you're about to start choking.
It's very dry. Oh god, it's gonna be tough to get down.
I told you it looks dry. I tried to warn you.
I took a bite of it before this. I said it was dry, but it's like very dry. It's like eating a regular marshmallow, but with a biscuit below it. Very strange. I wish I could see the like it looks like it has like a little mascot, but it's covered with the expiration date.
When did it expire?
Doesn't expire for another 2 months.
Oh, there you go.
That was all right. I also don't think I would buy this Gatorade, this Mountain Dew again. You don't need to fuck with perfection. Mountain Dew's already good. You don't need all these fucking flavors.
Yeah, but they're trying to get that market of people who don't want to have a soda. So they make it taste like something else.
But it's already soda. It's 290 calories per bottle. Like,
that's such a waste.
The blast of raspberry. I got marshmallow on my fucking teeth. Oh god. I'm looking forward to the chocolate more than that. So at least I got that out of the way. It wasn't terrible, but too dry. Let's see what else is in this. 0% total fat, 28% carbs, 77 grams of total sugar. So it's fucking, you're gonna get high.
Ooh, I dig that.
I mean, it's all right. It's better than the fucking Code Red shit. No cherry for me.
You want to pour that on your head?
Yeah, for how much?
This one you got to do for free.
Oh, no, because it's, what did I pour on last time? An energy drink? That's probably just as sticky. And that fucked up, got it everywhere. But I guess I saved this little piece of chocolate to go microwave later.
I'm so curious. I want you to microwave and report back.
Well, you know how it goes. Oh, God. So should I you haven't seen, did you even see The Matrix, Scream 5? Have you seen anything?
I haven't seen
besides
anything.
Ghostbusters?
Other than Ghostbusters, I haven't seen anything.
Did you hear about Scream 5?
Yes.
Did you read any spoilers?
I know what happens.
Oh, you didn't bother to wait?
I never even saw Scream 4.
Really? Nothing really happens there. They all live. So you never, you just, what did you look it up or did you see it on fucking, because I didn't tweet any spoilers.
I saw it on TikTok.
What the fuck was on TikTok?
People TikToking about it. People were TikToking.
Yeah, saying what?
You want me to spoil it?
I saw the movie. What do you mean spoil it?
Do you want me to spoil it for the
I saw the movie. Well, I'm going to talk about the movie. What do you mean spoil it? You think I'm just going to talk about?
They killed off Dewey.
It was, yeah. I mean, I knew one of them was going to die, but like, it's so unsatisfying. The ending was so stupid. I was expecting Stu to come out and be there. That's what I was hoping for.
Well, that's why they didn't, because they felt that it would have taken away from the moment of Dewey's death. Like they would.
No, I don't think that's
his return would overshadow it.
No, I don't think that's because he dies like 45 minutes before the end of the movie. When it no, yeah, no, I don't think anybody. I don't think they were going
to come back for 6.
I don't think anybody was like, yeah, we'll have Stu as the killer, but no, it'll overshadow Dewey's death. I'm pretty sure nobody said that ever. I don't think it was ever in the plans for him to be in it. And it
was.
No, it wasn't at all. You didn't even see the 4th movie. What are you talking about? I don't think you've seen the first 3 at all. That makes no sense. I think you're just making
the 3rd one was awful.
No, so you just make shit up. It wasn't as
good. The 3rd
good.
one with the freaking director, what was his name? Ronan or whatever?
It was his brother. It was her brother.
Awful.
No. I name anything that happens in that movie. You probably can't.
Awful.
No. It wasn't as good as the first one. I don't even know if the second one was as good as the first one. It wasn't. First one was the best. 2 was all right. 3 was all right. 4 was like same shit. This one, they weren't even in that much. They were in a little bit. Sydney's in like one scene for like 3/4 of the movie. Then they all end up in Stu's old house, and the killers end up being fucking movie fans of the movie. They're fans of Stab, and they want to
stupid.
They want to reboot it by getting the original characters. They made fun of themselves, sort of. As soon as they meet Dewey, he pegs the guy who's the killer, the main character's boyfriend, as the killer, and he was right. And then there's a line in the middle of the movie that literally gives it away that he's the killer. He was in the hospital and the girl's being attacked. Her sister's being attacked. And he shows up. She's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, your sister called me to tell you you were in trouble to go see you, help you, whatever. And then the killer has his phone, calls the main character, and she goes, where are you? So like he just said that she called him, but I was literally sitting there. I was like, you just ruined the fucking rest of the movie because I know he's one of the killers. And one of my friends saw it and made a video on it. He didn't catch that. But as soon as he said it, I was like, wait, you just said she called you to go to the hospital, but she hasn't talked to you clearly. And then it ended up being one of the girl's friends. And it felt like the ending happened too fast. They're all in the room and they're all like, who's the killer? You're the killer. Am I the killer? And she goes, no, I know. And she pulls out a gun and just shoots him. I felt like it was so forced. It was like a parody of itself, making fun of itself, being self-aware. But it was just like,
But why would she shoot them? Because isn't the whole point to try to get the Stab franchise back? So wouldn't you want to stab them?
well, this was like a minor character that nobody gave a shit about.
Did they stab Dewey or did he actually get?
Dewey got like bloodied to death, like stabbed both sides, like ripped up in his or. But it was this random chick that kills him. It like just felt not good. Like it would have been nice if Stu killed him and it like comes full circle. But it was some stupid chick who met the other guy on Reddit.
That sounds like a real life thing, though.
He found the main character. Though the main character is Billy Loomis's illegitimate daughter, and Billy Loomis
illegitimate. Was he cheating on Sydney?
in the movie as like a flashback dead character. So I was like, I saw Skeet Ulrich and it looked like it was CGI but he was actually in it. So I was like, fucking Billy Loomis is in the goddamn movie. So that was the best part. So she's his illegitimate daughter. She like ran away. The killer found her in California, set up the whole plot to get her back to Woodsboro so they could fucking do this bullshit. And it was just like, I left. I was like, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was meh. It's like, I'm glad I saw it, but it was like not scary at all. Pretty gory though. One of the dudes fucking gets stabbed in the throat and they show it going through his throat. And they did a lot of parody stuff where like he'd open a door and they'd start playing this scary music and then he'd close the door and nobody'd be there. So it was like they were self-aware of. And fuck, the weirdest thing is, remember Randy?
Yeah.
He has
Jamie Kennedy's character.
Twins, boy and a girl, his nieces and nephews who were black. And I don't remember if they ever introduced like anything like that in the original 3 movies, but it was like his sister was in it and it was her kids. Maybe obviously they were adopted, but it was just like a boy and a girl, black boy and a girl who were twins were his niece and nephew. And I was just like, I don't remember enough about this franchise to have any clue if this was something they talked about. But they had like a plaque of Randy and shit. It was pretty cool.
Plaque of Randy, wow.
Like his face was there and like in memoriam of Randy or some shit like that.
His name was Meeks, wasn't it? Randy Meeks?
Yeah, he died in the second one in that fucking van scene.
Yeah, he got pulled in the van.
So depressing because who doesn't love fucking
Jamie Kennedy?
Randy?
He was the best character.
But there's nothing like you topped out at Billy Loomis. Like that's the best character name ever, the best fucking murderer ever. Like it's amazing.
What was Stu's character's last name? Mocker?
Stu Mocker. So the chick who was with the boyfriend, her parents bought Stu Mocker's house.
Huh.
So like the fucking, it's just weird because they met on Reddit and they were like, because Stab 8 came out and it was like one of those movies where it's like nothing to do with the original series. So they were all pissed off about it. And they were like, we have to give the fucking people new material to make a new movie. So they got everyone together. Fucking Gail comes in and fucking Dewey dies and fucking Sydney's there. And they're like, we're all doing this to reboot the franchise. And it was, have you ever heard of, I think it's called like a requel where it's like not a remake. It's like in between like a remake, but a sequel prequel has like new characters, but it also has the old characters. So they're talking about that kind of movie in the movie while it's that movie. So it has a sprinkle of Dewey and Gail and Sydney, but also has all these new characters, but they're also related to these old characters. So it's like a combination of the old fans will be happy, but you'll get new fans. So they were kind of like making fun. They're very self-aware, but I felt Dewey dying was like some fucking chick who's like 4'11", like really. And then the first scene, you know how there's always like somebody dies in that first scene. That's the main character's sister, and they don't kill her. So they like, that was the whole point to getting her back to come back to Woodsboro. So there was no opening
almost
kill.
killing her.
Yeah, she got stabbed through the hand and stabbed like a bunch of places. But it's always in those fucking movies, those characters, the killers are like the worst killers ever. They get beat up by the scrawniest, like shittiest people. It's like they slam a door on them and it's like they can't open the door. It's like they're the worst fucking killers ever.
Well, I remember in the original Scream, when like it started, you were not expecting Drew Barrymore's character to die like right off the bat.
I don't think anyone had ever done anything like that.
Yeah,
You
like
thought
you were
Drew
just
Barrymore
not
was like a
expecting
main
it.
character.
Exactly. The only other time that's ever happened was in Executive Decision with Steven Seagal.
They marketed, but I don't think they marketed the shit out of Drew Barrymore, right?
I don't think
She
they
was
did.
on the poster though,
Yeah.
but like they marketed fucking Seagal is in that movie because he was the biggest star, and then he fucking dies. I wonder if anybody sued for that. Like you
Oh
market.
my god.
There was a movie. I think her name is Ana de Armas, and so these people rented a movie because she was supposed to be in it and she wasn't in it, and they're like suing the production company or something because they cut her scenes. And I'm like, I wonder if you'll win that. It's false advertising, right? You advertise somebody in it, and if they're not in it because their scenes got cut. But I wonder if anybody was in that movie watching Seagal die, going, oh, "What the fuck?" Like,
And he dies quick in the movie. It's like 15 minutes in.
Fucking
Not trying to spoil anybody if you're ever going to watch the 1996 movie Executive Decision, but they're on a freaking plane and the guy's like, "Colonel, we're not going to make it." And he's like, "You are."
And then because it was like going from one plane to another, so it was like a tube attached to both planes, and then like the pressure went off, and he shut the valve, and his fucking body fly. He saves John Leguizamo, the guy from the Terminator 2, who who drops the fucking bomb. That guy, I don't know his name.
Oliver Platt.
He was also in Scandal. That's the third guy, right?
Yeah.
The fucking what's the Ready to Rumble?
Yeah.
Fucking King, whatever. So he saved those three guys.
What's his name? Oh my god, Kurt Russell saves Kurt Russell.
I should know the fucking guy's name. He was in Scandal, also the black guy. Feel bad. Now I gotta look.
I can't think of his name either. Right? He was in Terminator 2. I know exactly who he is and who you're talking about. I just cannot think of his name.
He's in a lot of stuff. He's a good actor. Let's see. Executive Decision, 1996. Was Kurt Russell not a big enough star to market the movie like himself?
I thought he was. He was in like Escape from LA, Escape from New York. He was in those movies.
Yeah, he was definitely big by 96. So that's for sure. Let's see. John Leguizamo, Joe Morton.
Joe, you could have given me 4,000 guesses.
Fucking BD Wong was in that movie. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, he was.
Fucking BD Wong. I got to look up what that stands for, even though I've done that like 7,000 times.
Wasn't John Leguizamo's character like Rat or something like that?
Captain
It's
Carlos
Bradley Darrell, by the way.
Rat Lopez.
BD's Bradley Darrell.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a Bradley or a Darrell.
I looked that up for whatever reason a couple of weeks ago because I was watching, I think, one or SVU.
Every time I do something with BD Wong, I always remember I have to look up what his fucking name. He's 61 already. God damn.
Have you seen any of the Jurassic Park movies? He's in the Jurassic Park movies again.
The new ones or the older ones?
No, the new ones.
I haven't seen any of the new ones.
Oh, you should. They're good.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure I've seen at least the first one, but not in a really long time.
Yeah, but then you started hating Chris Pratt because he's a douche nozzle. So I mean, I can understand it.
I mean, the originals. Like I haven't seen any of the new ones. Like I had no interest in seeing that shit again. No Jeff Goldblum, or was he even in it? I don't even know.
He was in the second one that came out, and he's in the third one coming out. But so is the original characters, Dr. Alan Grant, and
why weren't they in the first one?
There was no need for them to be.
Why not? I don't want to go see that.
It's a new thing now. Like the third movie coming out has Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant.
So they just all of a sudden need them to come back.
Do you want me to spoil some of these movies? Shit hits the fan in the second one.
I'm never going to see fucking Jurassic Park. Fuck Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, now the way that the second movie ended, leading into the final.
I don't even know how to remind me how the
dinosaurs are just amongst the people now.
What happened in the first? How many original movies are there? 2 or there's 3? Yeah, I don't. Right. I know there's something about Jurassic Park 2 with San Diego or something.
Yeah, that has Jeff Goldblum in it and not Sam Neill. And then the third one has Sam Neill back and not Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum needs to just be in everything.
I love Jeff Goldblum.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok who does his impression? I showed you the one. It's the same guy who does that amazing Howard Stern impression.
Yes.
It's like Jeff Goldblum is fucking hilarious. He does a good John Oliver also. He does a good Trump, Mitch McConnell.
I watched a TikTok today of Jeff Goldblum watching David Duchovny on SNL from like 20 years ago do a Jeff Goldblum impression.
Have you seen the guy I was talking to you about with Jeff Goldblum? because he does it with him
Oh,
on
not
stage.
with. Not. I haven't seen it with Jeff.
Yeah,
Goldblum.
it's hilarious. And he does
That's
He does the John Oliver on the street with John Oliver, and he interviews Hank Azaria as Howard Stern.
I saw that one.
His name's Matterday Night Live on TikTok. Let me find what his name is. Oh God, I gotta search because he's fucking hilarious.
I love Jeff Goldblum. I think he's just amazing.
Let's see.
I know you don't have Disney Plus, but he's got
I
a
do.
show. Oh, do you?
Yeah,
He's got a show on there. It's called The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
it's the streaming service I probably use the least.
You should watch. There's, I think, like 22 episodes. It's called The World According to Jeff Goldblum. It's basically him like going around where he's exploring the world, and he does this stuff by like covering different topics. Like there's one episode on video games, another on like ice cream, another on sneakers, something on pools. It's really a funny show because it's Jeff Goldblum.
So random. Matterday Night Live, Matthew Friend. Yeah, he's fucking. Let me see if I can find a good clip. Because the Howard Stern one is just, it's like the best. I gotta fucking go find. He does a Fauci impersonation. There we go.
I mean, so I got to tell you. So Hank Azaria, that's your name, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. It's been a long time since you've been on the show. I mean, you were on a year ago. So
Sure.
Hank Azaria,
Longer.
it's
Like if I just played that clip, you'd be like, oh, it's a Howard Stern clip.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's insane. Like imagine doing Jeff Goldblum to Jeff Goldblum. So good.
But how is he so good at so many impressions? Do you know what I mean? Like
That's-
Frank Caliendo is good at that kind of stuff too, but not as crisp and as accurate as like that guy.
His John Madden's pretty good.
I mean, he does other ones like his Adam Schefter is amazing. Have you seen Frank
and-
Caliendo's Adam Schefter?
That and Stephen A is pretty good. I can't even do one impression, let alone fucking 10. I have no
My
talent.
wife does a great impression of pretending like she's in love with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is her fucking impression that she's impressed with you naked? Oh
No,
yeah,
no
it's,
one ever is.
it's very big. I know. Oh, thanks, honey.
Where's the rest of it?
All right, before we get into sports, you want to play a game? I'm gonna let you pick which one you want to play. Do you remember all of our games we had?
I don't remember any of them actually.
We got how many episodes? Box office gross, cameo prices, peak position. I think those are
Let's
the
go.
other ones,
Let's
I
go.
don't
How
have
many? Let's go. How many episodes?
what's your, because I did no prep. I just wanted to pick on the fly. What's your like category you want to do?
Give me like 90s comedy.
90s.
Can you think of a
sitcoms.
90s comedy?
I typed in 90s sitcoms and it didn't autocorrect. There we go. All right, let's
90s
see.
sitcoms.
All right, first one. Let's go. Here we go. Can you tell me how many seasons Step by Step had?
Oh my god! I just saw a freaking great thing. Step by Step. That had Patrick Duffy, didn't it?
Yep, Suzanne Summers.
I want to say it started. What year did it start?
God, IMDb is just like so not cool anymore. And
It had to have started in 91 or 92.
just show me the fucking amount of episodes. My God. Yeah, it was 91. I can't tell you when it ended because I don't.
No, but I feel like it started 91 or 92. What was that other? Who was the person that played Al? She was a freaking ended up becoming really hot.
Played who? Oh yeah, Christy Lakin.
I could not think of her
Stacey
name.
Keenan was also really hot. Fucking
Sasha Mitchell was like
hot.
in and out of the show because he was a garbage person.
Oh,
I
I
think
didn't
got
realize-
arrested a few times.
Bronson Pinchot was in one season. Didn't know that.
No, he played Jean Luc. I remember. I loved that show. I'm gonna say 6 seasons.
Donald Gibb
'Cause I
from
feel like
from fucking what's it called? The Van Damme movie was in that for 6 episodes. It was on for 7 seasons.
Wow, 7.
How many episodes?
Well, 7 seasons. You figure they got to do at least 25 episodes a season, maybe 24. 700. I'm gonna say 168.
According to this, it looks like because the main characters were in 160 episodes. Because
Oh, that's
IMDb
close.
doesn't bother to tell you how many total. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, 160.
I was close.
Let's see,
I said
1,
168.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters were in every episode. Sasha Mitchell missed a lot, I guess, because he was only
Well,
in
he
114.
got phased out of the show because I'm pretty sure he
But Brandon was only in 132 episodes, so he missed probably that. Looks like that
Interesting.
last season. He wasn't even in it in 98. Fucking guy. All right, let's see. What's another good? Oh, how about dinosaurs?
Oh my god, that is My, well, Kaiten has never seen that show still. Not the mama, like I'm the baby, gotta love me. That I want to say was, I actually feel like I know this. 4 seasons.
How many episodes?
60,
Wow, Jessica Walter was in this, one of the voices.
64.
Close, 65. Stuart Pankin, who I would never know his name, but I know his face more than fucking. He's been in a million different things. Sally Struthers. Yep.
Sally Struthers was in that?
Yeah, she was Charlene.
Wow.
And let's see, anybody else I've ever heard of? Kevin Clash, not to be confused with Kevin Cash. Don't know who that is.
He was the voice of Elmo.
Yes, the black guy. Yeah.
Why did I know that he's the voice of Elmo? That's actually kind of weird.
And then like there's really no, I didn't know Jessica Walter was in it. Rest in peace. Yeah, Stuart Pankin. What else is he in? He's got a face that you would instantly recognize from something. He's kind of like Newman, like that same body type, that same sense of humor. He's in Fatal Attraction.
I just had to Google him. Oh, him. Oh, yeah. He's been in a ton of.
He's in like everything.
He was the voice of the dad?
Apparently.
Wow.
He was in Dude, Where's My Bar, a video short from 2009 that we've all seen. He was in That's So Raven, Malcolm in the Middle, Walker, Texas Ranger. Oh,
I can't see him
Fuck
being
that.
in a Walker, Texas Ranger episode. That just seems kind of odd.
Ally McBeal. Seems like a character actor. He was in the Angry
Yeah.
Beavers.
Never like a star in anything really, except for that. But
All right, let's see. Give me some more. This is a
Interesting.
popular one. I'm sure you know this. Home Improvement.
now, is this the Tim Allen being a douchebag years, or like Tim Allen's not a douchebag years? So that started probably 91. It ended before the year 2000 because Jonathan Taylor Thomas wanted to like go to school.
Well,
I'm gonna
but
say
he missed. I'm pretty sure he missed like a whole season. Like
Yeah,
they
he-
just wrote him
he
out.
went to they wrote him out of the show like he was going to some country to help people. I'm gonna say 8 seasons.
Where are you? What the fuck? Why am I not seeing it? You were just fucking on here. What are you doing? 91 to 99.
I'm gonna say 8 seasons.
How many episodes?
I'm gonna say 25 episodes a season, which would be 200.
8 seasons, 204 episodes. It's never like 20. It's never like a round number per season. There's always one season where it's like 10 episodes, and then there's like 30 the next season.
That's annoying. That's annoying.
Every
Now,
single.
I feel
fucking-
like Debbie Dunning was better on that show than Pamela Anderson.
I don't know if she was better, but I think she's just as hot.
I think she's more attractive.
Like she's fucking really hot. People forget Pamela Anderson was in 23 episodes and then became super fucking famous. I guess was too good for that racist piece of garbage, Tim Allen. Fucking every goddamn kid in that show, fucking 3-name kid. Taryn Noah Smith, Zachary Ty Bryan, and fucking everyone's favorite crush, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Who
Still
didn't
doesn't
want to
mind.
fuck Jonathan Taylor Thomas? I wonder what he's up to these days.
Probably not a lot.
JTT was born, let's see, 81. So yeah, he was the fucking heartthrob when we were in like middle school. That stupid haircut. Zachary Ty Bryan, not that attractive. Taryn Noah Smith, even less attractive. So JTT was the fucking.
Well, do you know that Taryn Noah Smith, when he was like 17, he got
married
married
like a
to some,
40-year-old?
like a
Yeah.
30, like 38, 39
Yeah.
year old, something like that.
Wait, is Last Man Standing Tim Allen's fucking stupid show?
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas was in that show.
I think it's like a special guest, like for an episode. I think almost
No.
everybody that was on Home Improvement was on that show.
He was in 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes. He played John Barker in 3 episodes and then randomly played a guy named Randy.
Interesting. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people that were on Home Improvement ended up being
I
on
thought that show was still on. Or
I
what's
think
his,
it's
what's
just
his,
ended.
what's his show that was on like NBC and then they fucking, after all, he became like a racist and they were like, now we're canceling it. And then Fox picked it up.
That was Last Man Standing.
And why is
It was
always-
ABC
Oh, it's
to
showing
Fox.
2011 to 2021, like it was on for 10 years, even though it wasn't. Well, how
I think it was
actually,
on for almost 10 years.
It's on for a lot. How many episodes do you think that show had?
Oh God, I feel like it had probably as many as Home Improvement. I'll say 200.
Close, 194.
I mean,
what's the plot? Let me see what the plot of this fucking show is.
honestly
a married
have
father of
no
3
idea.
tries to maintain his manliness in a world increasingly dominated by women. So
It's home improvement but with females as family.
Nice range, Tim. Fucking idiot.
He has his one niche that he's staying in.
Have you ever heard of the Golden Palace?
No.
Have you ever heard of the Golden Girls?
I've heard of the Golden Girls, yes.
This was the sequel to the Golden Girls. How many seasons do you think that lasted?
They made a sequel to the Golden Girls?
Yes.
Who was on it?
All of them except for B. Arthur.
Really?
And so I saw this on TikTok this morning, which I had no idea. There was a Confederate flag episode. Don Cheadle was in that show. And
Don
so was
Cheadle?
Cheech Marin. I guess B. Arthur made an appearance, but I know she was not a regular.
I feel
So
like
was the
that
other
show
3.
had to have been on for no more than 2 seasons.
It
I'll
only
say 2
lasted
seasons.
1 year. It got
24
canceled.
episodes. 24 episodes.
Yep, Cheech Marin was in it. Don Cheadle was in every
Cheech.
episode. So was Cheech Marin. Interesting. Yeah, B. Arthur was in 2. The rest of them were in 24 episodes.
I thought the only spin-off to Golden Girls was Empty Nest.
I mean, does that count as a spinoff or is it like a sequel?
Well,
I guess it's
wouldn't it be a spin-off since not all the characters were in it?
Yeah, but a spinoff implies it's like just one character or like a fucking the Family Matters
minor
type,
character.
How do you spin off a character who's hardly in? I haven't even gotten that far into Perfect Strangers where she shows up. So I don't know how you'd get the idea to spin off a show based on a fucking side character.
Well, think about it. They did that
so
with
odd.
Happy Days did that with Laverne and Shirley.
It's just so strange.
Hell, they did it with Joni Loves Chachi.
Well, that was at least sort of a mainish character, not like a fucking elevator operator.
Yeah, but I mean, Happy Days did that with Laverne and Shirley. They were not main characters; they were tertiary characters.
Yeah, but didn't they at least have like a little bit of a story per episode? How much could Harriet Winslow have been? And she's not even the main character of the spinoff.
That's true.
So it's like
That's valid.
doesn't even seem like they tried to make her the main character. Like he was always the main character.
How did I remember the show Empty Nest? I used to watch the show Empty Nest.
You can't fucking watch it anywhere. I've tried to buy the DVDs. There's no DVDs. You can't watch it anywhere.
Why?
Christy McNichol's in it, and she was still hot.
Why isn't it anywhere?
It's like an obscure show that like Mandela effect. Like maybe it didn't really exist.
Because I'm like wondering what was he in Golden Girls that made it spin off? Like, was he their doctor? Like, I don't understand.
We should fucking find that out. Maybe we'll talk next week. Fucking spin-off shows. Empty Nest was how many episodes of Empty Nest were there?
I'm gonna say it lasted at least 8 years, and I'll say 8 years, 170 episodes.
Well, I think you exactly hit. It's definitely not 8 years.
Oh,
It was close, 7, 88 to 95 with 170 episodes.
I got the episodes right.
Empty Nest tells the day-to-day misadventures of a widowed pediatrician. So I don't know what kid was in Golden Girls. His 2 oldest daughters who've come back to live with him after failed marriages. And fucking Joe Azuzu is fucking in it. The goddamn David Leisure. Hilarious. He was the Joe Azuzu guy from fucking the Azuzu commercials. And who else is in this show? Christy McNichol's in it, and then nobody else.
The mom from Stop My Mom Will Shoot.
That's Golden Girls. She's Estelle Getty.
Yeah, she was in it though, wasn't she?
How do you go from just talking about the Golden Girls to the mom from My Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
Because that's where I know
Sophia
her
from the
more.
Golden Girls.
I know
Nobody knows
more.
her from that more. Nobody knows her from that more than Golden Girls.
I do.
Betty White has been in Hollywood for like 90 years, and everyone knows her from Golden Girls. Nobody would be like, "What do you think of Estelle Getty?" Oh yeah, Stallone movie. No, she's fucking Sophia. Oh, what's another?
And really, I know Betty White from that show. What was it, like Hot in Cleveland? That's what I know her from.
Yeah, no. All right, Wings.
Oh
God,
my
I
God.
need to rewatch
Tony
Wings.
Shalhoub was in Wings. Have you ever seen Wings?
Of course, I've seen Wings.
Love Wings. Tony Shalhoub was in that.
It's like I haven't watched that. It used to be on Netflix years ago, and I was like, yes, I have to watch this, and just would never watch it.
What's his name was also in it. God, who else was in it?
You've never seen Quagmire? Tim Daly from Wings.
What's his name though? The guy
What's
that played
it- Steven Weber.
yes, thank you.
I mean, he's not. I don't know.
Thomas Hayden Church. That's what I'm thinking of. The guy who played Lowell. Thomas Hayden Church.
He's probably the most recognizable out of anyone besides Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub is like
It made
so
Tony
bad.
Shalhoub's career. Kelsey Grammer's in it as Frazier.
Okay, so wasn't he like waiting in the airport or something?
So I'm
Wasn't
guessing.
John Ritter's wife in it too?
I don't know who John Ritter's wife is.
Amy Yasbeck.
She played Casey, whatever her last name was.
She was in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Amy Yasbeck. Oh, she was John Ritter's like second wife.
Yeah, but when he died, it was his.
I was like, she seems too young to be, but of course. So
Um,
how long was Wings on? It's like it doesn't tell me how many fucking seasons. I just have to guess based because sometimes you'll have like a show like you look at fucking Hey Dude. It's like it was on for like 8 years. It had like, or it was on for like 5 seasons, but it had like 50 seasons or whatever. Like those shows that have like 8 episode seasons for no reason, or
I'm
like
gonna
2 seasons
say-
per year.
it started in what, 89 or 90?
Not telling you anything.
There's no way that show lasted past like 97 or 98. I'm gonna say 6 seasons.
Wings had 8 seasons from 90 to 97.
Wow. I'm gonna say 165 episodes.
Based on how many Tim Daly was in, we're gonna go with 172 episodes. Tony Shalhoub was in 144 of them.
How could you have episodes without Tony Shalhoub? That's just terrible.
Well, he was a nobody then. It made his career. I don't think he
That's
was in
true.
anything before that. I've never seen a single episode of Monk other than like flipping through USA.
Oh my God. I've seen every single episode at least 3 times.
Just does not seem appealing.
So good.
How many episodes is it, Monk?
Fuck.
Adrian Monk.
I'm
It's
gonna
just
say
such an off-putting name.
that's a USA show. I'll say. Oh wait, no, I know this because I watch it all the time. 8 seasons. Duh, idiot.
USA has got
8
some
seasons.
good. How many episodes?
Well, I know it had more than 100 because they actually had an episode titled 100. I'm gonna say 129.
How many Monk seasons? Where are they? 8 seasons. How many episodes?
I'll say 129.
125 episodes. Nice round number. Oh, Trailer Howard's in that show. That's right.
Yeah, she ended up becoming it like season 3, I think.
The fucking pizza place chick. 2 guys and a girl. All right, let's find some. You want to do the Cosby
See, I
Show?
would remember her from Me, Myself, and Irene as Jim Carrey's wife who was cheating on him with the little guy.
Fucking Me, Myself, and Irene. I have not. My favorite quote from that movie is on 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like I've used that so many times. It's disgusting. How many seasons of The Nanny were there? This seems like a show you'd have no clue, or you'd seen every
The
episode.
Nanny? That's what? Who's that? Fran Drescher?
Yeah.
God.
Classic 90s sitcom.
Knowing how annoying her voice is, I would hope it got canceled after like 2 seasons. I'm going to say it had like 9.
6 seasons.
That's 6 seasons too many.
It's a good show.
Really?
How many episodes do you think it had in 6 seasons?
I'll go back to my round number. 150.
146.
I was close. I'm
That's
getting close with these.
That's more than I would have thought for that.
That's a lot.
That seemed like a show that was on for like 4 years, but it felt like it was on for 10. I
That's
like
because
that
you
show.
hear a voice. Really? Why? What's like? What's it about? Like, I know she's a nanny. Does she end
She's
up
a
falling in love with the guy
Nanny
or
for
something?
I think they end up dating or something. All right, let's do a classic one, which I haven't actually seen in forever. Boy Meets World. Classic. If you grew up in the 90s, you know all about Boy Meets World.
Did you ever watch the spin-off Girl Meets World?
No.
I watched a few episodes and wasn't into it. I'm going to say Boy Meets World had 7 seasons.
How many episodes?
150.
It lasted from 93 to 2000, which is
So 7.
crazy. 7. 158 episodes.
I was
It
close. I was off by 8.
was generally in the top 50 for ratings. I'm on their Wikipedia page now. Let's
That was a
go
good show.
with Clarissa Explains It All. Classic
Oh
Nickelodeon
my
show.
God, Melissa Joan Hart.
One of like the launching shows for Nickelodeon. None of these shows ever lasted long enough. Like
And
ever.
that was like, God, that was the early 90s. I'll say, I feel like it's got to be one of those shows where it was like 3 seasons, but like 70 episodes. So I'll say 3 seasons.
How many episodes?
70.
It was on for 5 seasons. And
Off by
somehow
that.
only 65 episodes. Feels like it should
Really?
be
So it's
way
like
more than that.
13 episodes a season or something. I figured they would have done like 3 seasons and one season would have like 45.
A lot of Nickelodeon. Yeah, they all had 13 episodes
Wow.
per season. Seems like they should have done more. All right, let's go. Let's find
Stupid
one.
Ferguson.
Oh, God, this show's so good. My favorite episode was when she stayed up all night watching TV.
What was her friend's name? Sam?
Sam Anders, played by Sean O'Neill. Like nobody.
Terrible name.
Fucking Ferguson's bald now.
Really?
Yep. So I don't know what happened to him. How about let's end it on a we talked about this earlier. Perfect Strangers. Such like the best I think Balki Bartakamus is the best character name like ever. Like find me a character on a TV show with a better name than Balki Bartakamus. You like just saying that I fucking can't not smile. It's like the best. Don't be ridiculous. It's like he's.
But
like
also his
best.
real name is awesome too.
Bronson Pinchot.
Yeah, like that's an awesome name too.
Fucking Balki Bartakamus. I'm gonna name my fucking child Balki Bartakamus.
I'll say 7 seasons.
How many episodes?
160.
8 seasons, 150. That is like nice round numbers.
God damn it. I'm so close to all of these.
86 to 93. So it was like prime 80s into the early 90s with a great theme song, great opening. Like I have to watch more of that show. I only got like the first 2 seasons.
Wasn't it like one of the original TGIF shows too?
Oh, now I have to find that. Spinoff of Family Matters, right? Or Family Matters was a spinoff. We know that. Theme song. Come on, give me fucking. Let me just. How did people find any information before Wikipedia? The show found its niche there as the anchor for ABC's original TGIF Friday night lineup. Aired Saturdays for a short, and then aired Saturdays in '92 for a short time. God, I would love to go back to the early '90s. Such great television.
Friday nights was just like the best.
TGIF. I wonder what we're gonna go over that next week, like the different lineups. Sort of leads. We'll rank the TGIF lineups.
Oh, I like that.
Let me write this down so we don't fucking forget. Ranking, raging. Okay. How do you spell ranking? There's a K in there. Come on.
Yeah. RANKING.
All right. So speaking of rankings, do you want to start off with the Royal Rumble or do you want to start off with all the other shit in sports? Because we're going to rank all of our Royal Rumbles, all of the Royal Rumble Final Fours, and find out which is the best.
Because the Royal Rumble is
go
on Saturday.
From 88 all the way up to last year. I figured ranking them in actual order is way too difficult. So we just go one by one. And is that the best? Yes, that's new number 1. So you want to start with that or do you want to start with the NFL?
Dealer's choice. What are you feeling?
I mean, the NFL we could talk about for either 2 minutes or we could talk about for the next like hour because it was probably the best best weekend of football I've seen in like a long time. All 4 games were fucking awesome.
Every game came down to the wire. I mean, that Bills Chiefs game was like the last 2 minutes was ridiculous. I don't even understand the last 2 minutes.
I would kill myself if my team went up with 13 seconds left and had to go to overtime.
I was on the edge of my seat during those last 2 minutes, and Kate was watching with me. And I was like, I'm not even a fan of these teams.
I was nervous.
Like, I was a fan of these teams. I was so anxious and nervous. Like, if I'm a fan of these teams, I'm probably going to kill myself if we lost.
Like, I would have been even more neutral if Cole Beasley wasn't on the Bills, but I was rooting for the The Chiefs. I guess like everyone hated the Patriots for the dynasty because they were just so unlikable. How do you not like the Chiefs besides Mahomes' fucking sister, his fucking wife and brother, who are like fucking annoying as shit. But if Mahomes won the next 9 Super Bowls, I'd be fine. Like he's fucking,
I wouldn't, because then Jackson Mahomes wouldn't stop dancing.
I
like a
don't care.
jackass.
He's like it's so likable. Kelsey's likable. Fucking Andy Reid is like fucking America's dad now that Bob Saget's gone. Fucking, I love the Chiefs, so I'm always gonna root for the Chiefs. I just couldn't root for Cole Beasley. Fucking hate that guy. But I feel terrible for the Bills.
So the score was 26-21.
How do you? They went what 40, 50 yards in 13 seconds?
Well, that's
like less than that.
I just pulled up like the game cast. The Bills got the ball down 26-21 with 9 minutes left in the game. Down 26-21. They had a 17-play, 75-yard drive. They scored to make it 29-26 with a minute 54 left.
Wait, that one drive went from 9 minutes to 1 minute?
That's 154. They had the ball for 7 minutes and 1 second.
Damn, that's a great drive.
So they ate up all the clock. So they have 29-26 lead. The Chiefs get the ball back with a minute 54. They proceed to go 5 plays, 75 yards, touchdown.
Like 12 seconds? Fucking was it the Tyreek Hill touchdown?
Tyreek Hill, 64 yards. So they're up. The Chiefs are now up 33-29 with a minute and 2 seconds left. Minute and 2 seconds. The Bills now go 6 plays, 75 yards in 49 seconds to go up 36-33 with 13 seconds left.
The Chiefs, the secondary was like some of the worst I've ever seen. It was so bad. I think one of the guys' names is Williams, who I was tweeting about. Like, he was horrendous. Like, I guess they were using everybody on Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Is it Gabriel Davis who had the 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns. Yeah.
And then who's the other guy? They have McKenzie.
They have Isaiah McKenzie, who did nothing, and they have Cole Beasley. They also have Emmanuel Sanders.
And fucking my 4 touchdowns, like their secondary was just horrendous. And then 13 seconds after they fucking score, what was it? 2 plays? The one to Hill got out of bounds, and then Kelsey over the middle, and they've got in fucking field goal range.
It was
insane.
Hill, Kelsey, spike. No, I'm sorry, Hill, Kelsey, field goal. They didn't have to spike because that timeout.
Timeout. Yeah, that's insane. Nobody could do that.
And, I honestly think they should have not kicked it into the end zone.
You think they should have run the ball with Mahomes?
100%. They had the timeout.
They had the time, so it's a good play. They should have. No, you can't. You squib kick it, because even
that's
if
what they should have done.
Can't you on a kickoff you get it and then you can take a knee? Like, you don't have to run. So at least that would have taken a few seconds off.
Exactly.
I get what they were doing. They wanted to make them go as long as possible, but kick it to the 1. Make them use the clock.
Make them use the clock. Make them have to run time off the clock.
That was a bad job.
And then Kelsey you saw that thing that I sent you, the video of like the mic up of him telling Hill, do this and then I'll block for you and you'll get the inside. And then
he got out of bounds, right? And then Kelsey was or did they?
Neither got out of bounds.
I thought Tyreek Hill got out of bounds and then the Kelsey was a timeout. They used timeouts after both.
Yeah, they used timeouts for both because they had all 3. So the play with Hill was he faked going to the outside and then came back in to get a few extra yards because Kelsey told him that he would block for him. And then Kelsey just went right up to see him, was watching the clock, and then dove down so they'd have enough time to call the timeout.
How many yards did they go in 13 seconds?
They went 19, 25, 44 yards.
In 13 fucking seconds.
In 10 seconds because they called the timeout with 3 seconds left.
Insane.
10 seconds, 44 yards.
Oh, I'd be sick if I was a Bills fan. Like, it's just, I'd rather have just lost 31-0. Like, that's disgusting.
I would have rather been blown out than, but also Josh Allen balled the fuck out. He's a top
good.
Quarterback.
He's really good, but also the Chiefs secondary is pretty fucking bad. If Gabriel Davis is getting 4 touchdowns, like, at least they shut down, I almost said Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, they shut Diggs and McKenzie and Emmanuel Sanders combined for 5 catches and 26 yards.
And that was the first ever 4 touchdown performance
Dawson Knox
ever.
Only had 2 catches for 9.
That's insane. So Griff didn't hit on any of his bets.
Nope.
But yeah, I guess somebody's going to have to be open. First ever receiver, 4 touchdowns in the playoffs.
Did he score 4 touchdowns in a single game? He did. He's like Al Bundy for Pokai.
Although it's more impressive if you're running, I think.
But also, have you ever heard of Gabriel Davis before this game? Like really?
I mean, if you play fantasy, you know these guys sort of, but like he's definitely no. Most people probably never heard of him.
I knew Isaiah McKenzie more than I knew Gabriel Davis.
Well, McKenzie had a few good games. I don't think Davis did anything this year.
No, he didn't. But
And
like,
then-
I just can't. Mahomes is just amazing, man.
And then there's the terrible, fucking awful 1 seed we all knew was fucking undeserving of the 1 seed, the Titans, because they're not good.
And then the other 1 seed that was undeserving, the Packers.
They should have won though, but that was just I guess the Niners have just a bad matchup for the Packers.
They have magic, though. I mean, the 49ers tried to do everything they could do to lose that game, too, and they still won.
It was
They
probably
tried to lose to the Cowboys, and they still won.
Probably the best first 2 rounds. You got the 2 NFC East teams get eliminated the first weekend. Unfortunately, the Tom Brady beats one of them, but it's fine because you'd rather have the Eagles lose than Tom Brady. And the Patriots lose the same weekend. And then the next week, Tom Brady gets eliminated. So you're like, fuck yeah. Now every single team left is fine. I don't care who wins.
I still don't understand how in that Rams game, which notice how the Bucks came back and the Rams ended up, winning there in the final seconds. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about Brady almost did it again, even though it was in spite of him because of the freaking Chiefs-Bills game. How do you come up short on a 47-yard field goal when there's no wind? How does Matt Gay come up short on a 47-yard field goal with no wind? I don't get that.
Bad.
And then we have the games this weekend, which we didn't even talk about the Bengals. I mean, you mentioned the Titans losing, but the Bengals look good.
I don't know how that game's because they beat the Chiefs last time. Was that in Kansas City or was it in Cincinnati? I can't remember.
Ooh.
But they put up a
think.
fuck ton on the Chiefs.
Yeah, Burrow threw for like 450.
So I could see that going like that again, or the Bengals magic just runs out. I honestly, I can't bet against Kansas City.
That game was in Cincinnati.
I don't know if the Bengals can do it. It seems like it's too soon for the Bengals. Like they'll come up short.
It's a 7-point spread now.
For the Chiefs,
yeah,
obviously.
And the Rams are only 3.5 over the 49ers.
Because the 49ers kicked the shit out of them the first time, and then they beat them in overtime last time. I think it was overtime, or it was by a field goal. So that's scary for the Rams. They better fucking win. Give me Rams, Chiefs, and which I think the Chiefs would probably. I could see the Rams showing up and scoring like 10 points in the Super Bowl, or this week.
I could definitely see that.
I could see it being this week. I mean, they almost fucking lost to the goddamn Bucks when they were up like 108-4, and like that first half was too perfect. Couldn't just give me a game where Tom Brady was just fucking done, right? It had to fucking be like this.
Maybe now we'll get the rematch everybody's wanted.
What?
The Super Bowl 23 rematch, Bengals 49ers, baby.
Yeah, a little bit different with Joe fucking. I mean, Bengals upgraded slightly over Boomer Esiason, but I don't know if the Niners are quite there with Jimmy Garoppolo over who's that guy? Joe Montana. Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot. I said Joe Montana.
Best linebacker I ever seen.
That's a great quote too. Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot. I said Joe. I remember seeing that back when we were young, and I was like, I don't know what Joe Montana is, but it's that guy from fucking. He's been in everything. He's in one of those NCIS type shows, like Criminal Minds or some bullshit like that. I think. Now I have to look.
The guy who said Joe Montana?
No, Joe Montana himself.
Oh yeah, he was in Godfather 3 and he was in Criminal Minds.
I couldn't remember how to spell it, so I said Joe Montana. Joe Montana. Yeah, very recognizable face. 74 years old. Let's see, give me his IMDb page, goddammit. Good looking guy. As we see it, he's been in The Simpsons. Oh my God, he's Fat Tony.
Fat Tony, yeah.
Fat Tony and Fit Tony.
He was in The Godfather Part
Criminal
3.
Minds. Yeah, it was Criminal Minds. Okay. 2007 to 2020.
Awesome actor.
The Bronx Bull. I don't know what that is. And a bunch of shit I've never heard of. The Starter Wife. I've heard that.
I've heard of that show.
Joan of Arcadia he was in. Oh, First Monday. Everyone knows that. The fuck is that? He's been acting for a long fucking time. God damn. Open All Night. I love just going to random pages and find. He was in Three Amigos. Wow.
Really?
Twilight Zone. Godfather Part 3. You know Joey Zaza?
Yeah, he was the main bad guy in Godfather Part 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking Joe Montana. I've heard Godfather 3 is like either underrated or because people like shit on it like it's the worst fucking movie ever.
It's gotten better over time. It's gotten more appreciated.
Fucking what's
Over
his
time.
face? I know this guy. Fucking Andy Garcia.
Yeah, he was in that too. He was cousins of Michael Corleone. Or not cousins, he was his nephew because he was Sonny's illegitimate bastard child.
He's
And then he
Trey
started banging Michael Corleone's daughter.
He's Trey
Which,
Mancini's dad, Vincent
little
Mancini.
incest. Little incest.
All right, you want to go over the Hall of Fame real quick for baseball?
You mean the complete hypocrisy of the fact that motherfucking David Ortiz gets voted in when Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not? That you know,
Did you see what Clemens' statement on Twitter?
Yeah.
Hey y'all, figured I'd give y'all a statement since that's the time of the year again. My family and I put the Hall of Fame in the rearview mirror 10 years ago. I guarantee you he didn't. I didn't play baseball to get into Hall of Fame. I played to make a generational difference in the lives of my family. Fuck does that mean?
Make a shit ton of money for his family.
I played to make a generational difference for the lives of my family. So you played the game for money. That makes you come off really cool. Then focus on winning championships, which you didn't do until you started taking steroids, but that's fine. So the community and the fans, well, it was my passion. I gave it all I had the right way. That's instantly, I'm like, just stop talking, man. We know you took steroids. Nobody cares that you took steroids besides these fucking douchebag writers. Like, I don't care. But he's still lying and committing to the fucking act. Like, how does that not weigh on you as a fucking person? Like keeping up the at least A-Rod was just like, you know what, I did it. Yeah, I did.
Well, it's the same thing. David Ortiz is keeping up. I didn't do anything. It's the George Costanza mantra. It's only a lie if you believe it.
At least David Ortiz had like one thing. He was on that one test, and then there's like nothing else. So at least he can like plausibly deny it. Clemens was in that whole fucking report. Everyone, there was a million different things.
But he never failed the test.
Yeah, I mean, technically only A-Rod only failed that 2003 test, but admitted he did steroids and then got suspended for it. What, fucking a decade later? He got fucking railroaded for that shit. What year did he get suspended? Like 2010? That's fucking bullshit. That still pisses me off. They wanted to make an example out of him and suspended him for something he did like 10 years prior. It's complete fucking garbage.
I saw a great tweet by a baseball writer who said, if someone came up to you and said, you could make your family generationally wealthy by playing baseball, but you have to take steroids, you're going to take steroids. That's what Clemens meant by it.
Yeah, but
he did what he had to do to make as much money for his family and their future.
Was he even he didn't start taking steroids until like 90. We can say was last year in Boston was 96. So started 97. He already played for 10 years. He already fucking helped his family out. He just wanted to keep playing.
He wasn't making money though. He wasn't making a lot of money. The highest paid players back then made like $5 million.
Yeah, which is why his fucking statement is horseshit. Like, I wanted to make money and be generally. Well, you did that for 10 years. So what did you want? You wanted to fucking just play for money after that? Like, we all know he was washed in 96 and then all of a sudden was incredible. How was nobody talking about it back then? It seemed like everyone was just like, oh, Dan Duquette's a moron. He wasn't done yet. Well, obviously.
Well, how does nobody talk about the fact that David Ortiz went from being a 26-year-old guy in the Twins who hit like 230 with 15 home runs to now hitting 45, 50 home runs a year?
So obvious he was taking shit. But the fucking A-Rod's test was like, yeah, he cheated. Fuck, Ortiz was probably false positive. Like, fuck out of here.
I took a milkshake.
Of course he was cheating. He was a nobody on the Twins. Nothing. He sucked.
And not for anything.
He also didn't play defense.
Clemens' last year in Boston, he was still good.
Yeah, but not what they were used to. So they thought he was washed.
He was 10-13, had a 3.63 ERA, but still led the league in strikeouts with 257.
Fucking goes to Toronto. I wonder if he was taken. Obviously, if he's 10-13, that's not really indicative of him necessarily. So I wonder if he was taking steroids like the last few years at Boston, or he started in Toronto, or what the fuck happened.
But then did he stop taking steroids when he came to the Yankees?
I doubt it. No. Didn't Brian McNamee say he was injecting him into fucking with the Yankees and shit?
Yeah, but look, he went from Boston with his 3.63 ERA, went to Toronto where he won back-to-back Cy Youngs with a 2.05 ERA and a 2.65 ERA.
It's still so weird to me that he was on the fucking Blue Jays.
Then he gets traded to the Yankees. Can I tell you what his ERAs were by season as a Yankee?
I don't think they were anywhere near 2. It was probably in the 3s.
So he was a Yankee before he ended up, coming back that, other
Yeah.
time. He was a Yankee for 5 seasons.
Yeah, 99 to 2003.
His best ERA was 3.51.
Yeah, so I don't know what the fuck was going
He
on.
had 2 ERAs over 4. His first year as a Yankee, 4.60.
I think that's
Only through 187 innings.
that has to be the New York factor. Like I don't know how else to explain somebody being that good just starting to not be that good.
But then he went to Houston and was amazing. So like when you look at his
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 National
career,
League was a lot shittier.
it's just so funny
Got to
though.
face
So
the
his
pitcher.
career in Boston, he had a 3.06 career ERA. Career with the Yankees, 4.01. Career with the Astros, 2.4. Career with the Blue Jays, 2.33. He wasn't good for us. He was awful.
He won a lot of games though, and probably had a ton of strikeouts.
He was 83 and 42.
But it's just weird that his ERA was that bad.
See, like maybe he did use steroids, maybe he didn't. It doesn't matter. The fact that you have put someone in the Hall of Fame that was clouded by steroids and the controversy with David Ortiz in, but not the others who, right, wrong, or indifferent, were better fucking players. Barry Bonds on his worst day with one arm is a better player than David Ortiz.
Well, also nobody cares about defense. Like that's why his WAR is so low, because he doesn't fucking play defense. But nobody gives a shit. When you go, is this guy a Hall of Famer? Nobody goes, well, let's see his defense. They all look at his fucking offensive numbers. So I get Ortiz getting in, but he got a lot less than I thought. I was assuming he'd get close to like 85%.
Well,
he
the thing
barely
was,
made it.
So they broke down the David Ortiz vote. So now the people who don't give 2 Fs about steroids, so the people that voted for Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, 90% of them voted for David Ortiz.
How do you vote for those two and not A-Rod? Just because it's his first year? You shouldn't get in on your first year. Like, is he a Hall of Famer or not to you? Stop being the fucking police.
The people that voted for the other steroid people that have been on the ballot in the past, Bonds, Clemens, and Manny Ramirez, 93% of them voted for Ortiz.
It's at least consistent.
The people that refuse to vote for anybody that's on PEDs, the ones that steadfast, no PEDs, no Hall of Fame, 62% of those assholes voted for David Ortiz. That's how he got.
They don't care about the fucking random 2003 test.
It's because David Ortiz was likable. If Barry Bonds was as likable as Big Papi, Barry Bonds would be in the Hall of Fame right now. That's what it is. Barry Bonds was a dick to reporters. He was a surly asshole during his career. He was a garbage piece of shit.
But A-Rod was
the
nice.
best player ever.
Let's see how many he gets.
A-Rod wasn't that nice.
A-Rod wasn't a bad guy at all.
He wasn't a bad guy, but he wasn't like kissing up to the media like David Ortiz was. Now he does. Now he's amazing.
I don't remember David Ortiz ever kissing up to anyone. He was just nice to talk to. And I'm like, A-Rod was a better interview than Jeter was. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't know. Like Bonds was like legitimately
beloved.
Yeah, by the Boston media.
By all media.
Barry Bonds was just a jackass. So
but I mean, David Ortiz was doing those ESPN commercials and stuff. He was a beloved figure. It's like a big fucking teddy bear. If Barry Bonds was a big fucking teddy bear, he'd be in the Hall of Fame right now.
So A-Rod could have just denied it. Yeah, so the fucking Mitchell report, he could have gone like Clemens and been like, nope, not true, didn't do it. But he was just like, yeah, he lied for a little bit and then was eventually like, you know what, yeah, I did it. But he didn't lie fucking for 6, 7, 8, 10 years and then come clean. He came clean pretty quickly and then got railroaded.
What do you think Barry Bonds' career WAR was?
Wasn't it like 150 or something like that? Where it was like exponentially higher than Ortiz? It was like 130 or something like that.
162.7.
I mean, his on-base percentage, if you took away 700 and something home runs, is still higher than Ortiz.
If you took away every single home run that he ever hit in his career and made every single one of them an out, his on-base percentage is higher.
It's insane.
It's like,
I feel it.
Just looking at Barry Bonds's like,
even if he's on steroids, those seasons 2000 to like 2005 are just like insane. I was a huge Bonds guy. I loved Bonds.
2004, at the age of 39, this motherfucker hit 362, 45 home runs, 101 RBIs, 232 walks, 120 of which were intentional.
I don't know how you even like not kill yourself just constantly getting walked.
His on-base percentage was 609.
He's getting on base 60% of the time. Is just I wonder what the highest on base percentage for an entire season is. That has to be like close to it, at least in the modern era.
Oh, that's it's him.
Like, was there no like fucking Ty Cobb in like 1812 who was on base like 90% of the time or some bullshit?
So that's 609 on base percentage. I should also point out his OPS that year was 1.42, which isn't even human PS.
Absurd.
Ty Cobb's best on base percentage ever in a season, best on base percentage, was 486.
I wonder how often like guys walked back then. Was like guys walking anywhere close to like 50 times a year, 75, 100?
The year that he had a 486 on base percentage, he walked 118 times. His average season, he walked 67 times.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of walks back then. But so that's the highest on what's second then by anybody? Is there a list of 60% of the time is like if you're on 50% of the time, that's absurd. Like a on base percentage in the 400s, you're like, that guy's fucking great.
Yeah, nowadays it's like if your on base percentage is like 380, you're amazing.
Also, it depends on like there's guys like Joey Gallo's average is like 190, but their on base is like 340. For those of you who don't watch sports, 340 is like the equivalent to like 30%. So you're on base percentage of the time. Baseball is the only sport where you can fail 70% of the time and be amazing.
The top 10 on base percentage seasons of all time.
But Bonds is probably on there like 6 times.
Barry Bonds is 3 of them.
That's insane.
He's number 1 and number 2. Josh Gibson is number 3.
Who?
Josh Gibson?
Who the fuck is Josh Gibson?
He was a Negro League player.
Oh, okay. So it's way back in the day.
Ted Williams is number 4. He had a 552 on base percentage in 1941.
Was that the year he hit fucking 407?
No, he hit 340.
He hits 400 one year, and that's not his highest OBP.
No, it is. It is.
All right. I was going to say that makes the most sense if it is.
He was amazing. He hit 406 that season.
Crazy. I don't think we'll ever see that again. Like,
no, I
not
don't
even
think
close.
I mean, even the year somebody hits like 360, 370, you're like, this is amazing.
Like, didn't DJ hit like in the 340s, 350-ish? And you're like, that's insanely high. Nobody's ever going to come close to 400.
What do you think the outside of Bonds' rookie year, when he was just awful, he still finished 6th in the rookie of the year voting. He hit 223 with 16 home runs, 48 RBIs. That's the only season of his career that he struck out 100 times.
It's absurd.
Like
he's the best ever.
I mean, the fact that at the age of 42, he hit 28 home runs and still had a 480 on base percentage. It's disgusting.
Guys
I
were
wish
still
the Yankees had
walking
signed him in 2008.
When did he retire?
2007 was his last year.
And he still had what? How many home runs?
28.
I probably still could have kept playing. I don't care if he's on steroids or fucking not. Like, I don't even understand what steroids do. Say you're there. I know like Pettit took HGH to heal. So like, I get that. But like, are the steroids are not helping you with your hand-eye coordination? Are they just making the balls go further because you're stronger?
Recovery time too. But then also all the guys that are taking, caffeine pills, all these things, all the other stimulants that are legal and, they're able to do are helping them recover faster.
Like when like somebody's taking like Adderall and shit, like really? Like I get it because you're not tired, but it's not helping you hit the ball. So like
it's helping you be more alert, which could help with your hand-eye coordination.
I don't really give a shit if somebody's like, there were so many people doing that shit. Like, who cares? Like,
Ty Cobb, all these people, Gaylord Perry's in the Hall of Fame, and he fucking threw spitballs, which is illegal. They can't become the moral police.
The writers being the fucking moral compass of who should get in is a fucking joke. But like, who votes for like the other Hall of Fames? It's not fucking sports writers.
I think it is.
Like, is there not like a fucking committee for NFL? Because like
No, I think there's a panel of people.
Because but isn't it like fucking is it beat writers? Because it seems like some of these people are too fucking stupid to be voting for shit like this. The NFL is weird. They're just like, here's a list of the people who made it. Here's a list of the people moving on. And like, what the fuck's going on? But fucking David Ortiz, what a jackass. Hate that guy. Mostly because he kicked the shit out of us every fucking year. But it's very unusual to go from being completely awful to fucking hitting that many home runs. Plus, he's on the test. It's not like you can't just say, like, yeah, it's suspicious, but there's no link to anything. But he also failed that fucking test. Well, we don't know what it was. Yeah, you don't know what any of them were. They were fucking, well, we couldn't tell if it was a band. So fuck you. You're just covering up for the guy. But you don't get that same shit with A-Rod. A-Rod, yeah, he was using something bad. Ortiz, who knows? Forget about it. False positive. Fuck yourself.
It's so fucking stupid.
Put him in.
But also the rolling on the ballot for 10 years bullshit, that's also fucking dumb. And you can only vote for 10 guys. That's also dumb. You should be able to vote for as many people as you feel should be.
And then those guys who don't vote for, they vote for 2 people. Like, why do you even have a vote? But there are also people getting vote, like Scott Rowland. Really? You think of fucking Scott Rowland as a Hall of Famer? Like, what?
Omar Vizquel?
Like, no. Come on. Like, Mike Mussina is one of those weird ones where it's like he has the numbers, but you never saw him as like the best at anything. But I think he had the numbers to get in. But you look at like Scott Rowland, like fucking really? It's just weird. Vizquel and those other fucking guys. And I know you're a big Rafael Palmeiro guy.
I was big on him when he won that gold glove and he only played like 14 games in the field.
Because nobody fucking pays attention to anything.
All right, so I have one for you.
I feel like we have to save the Royal Rumble for next week.
Yeah, we might have to.
How long do you think we can get through that? Because we should do a little bit of like analysis per year. We're already close to an hour and a half. I feel like we can use this year's Royal Rumble and do it next week.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
We'll fucking make sure we get that in.
So I have one for you from, should this person be a Hall of Famer or not? It's a comparison of 2 players.
Is it a WWE Hall of Famer?
Yeah, 100%.
That's really hard to get in. Really hard.
So they're both pitchers. Pitcher A had a 79.5 career WAR.
Billy Wagner.
Pitcher B had a 60.2 career WAR. So pitcher A definitely better. Pitcher A
based on WAR though.
216 and 146 for a 597 winning percentage. Pitcher B 256 and 153 with a 626 winning percentage. 3.46 career ERA for pitcher A, 3.85 career ERA for pitcher B. 6 all-star appearances for pitcher A, 3 all-star appearances for pitcher B. Pitcher A never won a Cy Young, but had 5 top 5 Cy Young finishes. Pitcher B never won a Cy Young, but had 5 top 5 Cy Young finishes. Pitcher A played 20 years, had a losing record in 8 of them, but had 3 20-game win seasons.
He had a losing record that many seasons, but his overall record was close to 100 games over 500?
Yep. So played 20 years, had a losing record in 8 of them, but 3 20-game win seasons, and he led the league in wins twice. Pitcher B played 18 years, never had a losing record, had 15 plus wins 8 times, including 2 20-win seasons. He led the league in wins once. Pitcher A, 133 career postseason innings, 11-2 with a 2.23 ERA in 19 starts with 3 World Series rings.
Do they take into account postseason numbers? I remember way back in the day. I don't remember who told me this, but it was like not everyone makes it to the postseason, so they don't count those numbers. And I was like, that doesn't. I think they get it, but how can you not, right?
So pitcher. They have to, right? They have to. They do. They do.
But I get how it's fair where it's maybe a guy never made the playoffs when it was impossible back then to make the playoffs. It's it can't hurt you if you never made the playoffs. It's not your own fault. But I guess regular season numbers would be most important. And then you could tack on if Jeter won no rings, does he make the Hall of Fame? Yeah.
No. I don't think he does.
It's 3,000 hits.
Not in the first ballot.
Yes, he does. 3,000 hits, you're in. You're 1,000% in.
How does Fred McGriff not make it just because he didn't get 500? He had 493.
Yeah.
That's dumb. So that's dumb. Pitcher A, I said 133 career postseason innings, 11-2 with a 2.23 ERA and 19 starts, got 3 rings. Pitcher B, 276 career postseason innings, 19-11, 3.81 ERA and 44 starts, won 5 rings. One, people say is a Hall of Famer. The others, they say never had a shot in the Hall of Fame.
What fucking pitcher has 5 rings? Jesus Christ.
And 5 top Cy Young finishes.
This isn't anybody recent.
Record.
Like how recent?
So I know who.
It's somebody who had to play on like 6 different teams for those 5 rings or some shit like that. Fucking.
So do you want to know who they are?
Is one of them Al Leiter?
No, definitely not.
He was on like 900 teams. He probably won a couple rings. David Cohn?
Nope.
That seems like a David Cohn stat.
Pitcher A, that people say is a borderline Hall of Famer.
Kay Gala.
Curt Schilling.
Oh, I fucking hate that idiot.
Pitcher B, that people say
because he was dominant for a while, but his overall numbers are not as good as Moose. But he was way more dominant when he was at his best.
He was dominant when he was at his best. 8 losing years. 8 years with a losing record.
That's pretty bad.
Fuck off, Kurt. But now
he had a better WAR.
Better WAR. Now pitcher B, who they say is not remotely a Hall of Famer. That's Andy fucking Pettitte.
Yeah, because Pettitte was. How many times was he the best pitcher in the league? Like very.
He had as many top 5 Cy Young finishes as Schilling. I mean, granted, he was losing to Randy Johnson every year.
Wait, Schilling won a Cy Young, didn't he?
Nope.
Not once.
He finished 5th. He finished in the top 5 times. He always finished behind Randy Johnson.
That's hilarious. They
should have. Pettitte was 5 top 5 Cy Young finishes. Never had a losing record. He also led the leagues in 90. He also led the league in wins in 1996. Pettitte. Totally
but Pettitte was never like when you look at Schilling, it was like 1A, 1B with Randy Johnson. You never looked at Pettitte as like the best player. The
reason why Schilling almost made it in was his postseason stats. That's why.
If he was a normal guy, he probably would have gotten in already. People are taking.
And you forgot Pettitte won 5 rings because he was on the 2009 team.
Yeah. No, I was just wasn't even thinking of Andy Pettitte. It's like, I was expecting it to be some fucking random scrub I've never heard of.
Isn't that amazing?
Fuck Curt Schilling.
I wouldn't want to. He's not my type.
So the only thing we had left was the Royal Rumble, but that's going to take too long. So we can just jump into the unusual death for this week. So next week, we'll do the Royal Rumble rankings. We got also, it might do a lot of rankings next week. Royal Rumble, we got TGIF lineups. So what do you want to do for unusual death?
Oh, we did 1814 last year. So let's make it let's do something like Civil War era. Do we got anything like the 1850s, 1860s?
Man, you don't want to go more modern? What was the fucking molasses flood and the fucking beer thing?
Molasses was like 1919 was molasses flood. 1814
I'm picking a random year. Here we go, right now. Ooh, nice name. June of 2012. Olga Gailkovich. G-A-I. Is there an L in there? For some reason I can't read right now. Gaikovich. G-A-I-K-O-V-I-C-H. Olga. 29.
Sounds like a strong woman.
Was traveling in the passenger seat of a car on a Russian highway. Oh my, wait, no. Okay, this was somebody else. All right. Was traveling in the passenger seat of a car on a Russian highway. Ooh, Russia.
You think she got her head cut off on the
she's fucked. When a few bricks flew out of a loading truck. Oh boy.
I don't like how this is going.
Final Destination shit. One brick broke the car's windshield and hit the woman's face. So it smacks the windshield, breaks it, and then the car's windshield. So I'm guessing the windshield and the brick probably hit her face because it just says one brick broke the car's windshield and hit the woman in the face. So either way, she got hit in the face with a windshield or a brick or both. She was taken to a hospital emergency room with her skull split open and pronounced dead after 2 hours of failed attempts to revive her. I can't imagine being a fucking ER person spending 10 minutes, let alone 2 hours trying to revive somebody. You're just fucking driving along the highway. You're not even driving. You're the passenger. And all of a sudden a fucking brick hits the windshield. You probably don't even know what hit you.
No, that's Final Destination shit. That's Final Destination shit.
and like there's no. This is going to be interesting if you can find any information on it. It is pretty recent, so there's probably multiple articles. But like, was the car in front or the truck, whatever, a few bricks, out of a loading truck? Was who's responsible for that? Is the driver? Like, I
Were they
wonder.
not tied down? Like, I feel like that's a lawsuit.
That's why every time I see one of those fucking trucks with like wood hanging out of the back,
I go to the next
shit
lane.
like
I go
that.
to
I'm
the
like,
next lane.
like if the off chance that this like shit flies out the back and it skewers my fucking windshield and punctures my throat or some shit. Yeah.
Nope. I want no part of that. I go to the next lane. That freaks me out.
Yeah. I hate that. So that was Olga Gailkovich. There's no L. Gaikovich.
Ah,
Gaikovich. If she had fucking, I wonder what kind of insurance the driver had.
Bet you shouldn't have Geico.
Oh God. So yeah, that's Olga. I wonder what she looked like. She was 29.
Her name Olga. I bet you she was a brute-looking woman.
Olga
That's stereotyping.
Gailkovich. Yeah, she sounds like a Polish power lifter. Yeah, you're gonna. Okay, this is weird. I scroll down. There's pictures of cars and windshields, and then our Bud Dwyer is on here. Some things that can't be unread. So I'm guessing. So maybe you'll find some stuff. It's a picture of a random bloody van. So yeah, can't wait to hear that next week.
Looking forward to researching that.
Follow up to the Olga. So what do we got on this day? It is January 27th.
All right, so some birthdays for this day. Not as many as last week. On this day in 1756, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was born. That's a pretty big birthday.
Yes.
In 1850, Edward Smith was born. He was the naval captain of the Titanic.
I was going to say, don't know who the fuck that is.
Can you guess when he died?
I'm going to say 12 hours ago.
Yeah, he lived to be 174.
Good for
72.
him.
And then also born on this day in 1969, Patton Oswalt.
1969. Damn, he's old.
53.
Patton Oswalt. Funny guy.
And some deaths on this day. The late, great Andre the Giant died on this day in 1993 at the age of 46.
Wow.
Also had author of Catcher in the Rye, J.D. Salinger, died on this day in 2010.
What's JD stand for?
I don't know, actually.
Is it Johnny Darrell? Let me look.
Johnny Darrell. I don't think it's Johnny Darrell.
I love typing in something to Google so incorrectly and it autocorrects for you. I typed in JD Salinger. Like fucking not even.
I feel
close.
like the J has to be John or Jacob or something. John Jacob.
I could give you 1,000 guesses. You probably wouldn't figure it out. Jerome David.
I would have never said Jerome.
Yeah.
David, I feel like I would have gotten, because the other option I would have said would be like Daniel.
Jerome David Salinger. That's kind of crazy. He lived to 2010. He was almost like, you just seem like JD Salinger, Catcher in the Rye. You read that in high school. You figured he died like 50 years before that. He was still alive when we were in high school.
When people were talking about it.
Like he was 91. He lived to 2010. I would have guessed he died in like 1979 or something like that. That's crazy. So we were reading that stupid fucking book in high school.
I liked that.
Still alive. I hated reading everything.
Did you really read the book? Did you get the Cliff Notes?
It's
the Spark Notes.
I think I had to read the book. I don't know. I probably half-assed it. But is that the Holden Caulfield book?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's a good book. I'm not especially in high school, I was not interested.
You want to read something that you're forced to read.
Exactly. But if I could read now, I'd probably enjoy that book. Holden Caulfield's like a fucking cool name. Probably one of the most iconic characters in book history, probably.
I'm impressed you read a book.
You have to in school. I mean, I would do those fucking summer reading things. There was one year where we had to do summer reading and they gave you the choice to do like articles. And I did an article about fucking Scott Hall and Kevin Nash going to WCW and how WWE was suing them for the names.
Did you really?
Yeah, because we didn't have to do a book, I guess. I don't know how I got lucky, but summer reading was the stupidest fucking idea anybody could ever possibly have.
That's funny.
I remember that vividly. Fourth grade
too. Wow.
Because they went in 96. So
that's right. You would have been like fourth
after fourth going into fifth. Yeah.
And the last death on this date was actually last year. Cloris Leachman died at the age of 94 on this day last year.
Juggle the beanbags, Cloris. I don't know how to juggle the beanbags.
And we have
always related to Family Guy.
We have some events that happened on this day. So this day in 1945, Soviet
It's
troops
probably not good.
liberated.
Oh, it is good.
Soviet troops liberated Auschwitz and Birkenau concentration camps in Poland.
I knew it was something. Well, as soon as you say 1945, you're probably
It's
like,
something
oh,
bad
fuck,
about the
something.
Holocaust.
Somebody died, but no, that's good. Liberated.
In 1956, Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis Presley was released, which became his first million-selling single. 1956. On this day in 1970, from Louisiana Tech, Terry Bradshaw was the #1 pick in the draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. What the fuck's the draft doing in January? Doesn't that seem weird?
They only had 14 games, so I'm guessing the Super Bowl was probably like right before that.
November 5th.
Maybe they got right into the draft. There was no scouting combines and shit.
So weird.
And they probably had like 86 rounds.
That's true. They really had so many rounds. On this day, we actually mentioned this show before. On this day in 1976, Laverne and Shirley, the TV spinoff from Happy Days, starring Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams, premiered on ABC.
Oh, Penny Marshall. Didn't she just die a couple of years ago?
She died like 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say. You have to look that up.
It's probably going to be like 10 years ago. She died in 2018 already.
That's 4 years. Jesus Christ.
God.
I actually have some sports ones for you, too.
Yeah.
On this date in 1991, Super Bowl 25, the New York Giants beat the Buffalo Bills 20-19 when Scott Norwood's 47-yard field goal was wide right.
Probably one of the top 10 Super Bowl games.
Did you know that's still the only Super Bowl to end in a 1-point margin?
Wow.
And I believe it's the only one where the person missed a kick that would have won or lost the game.
Yeah, I can't think of any field goal ending games where they missed. Yeah,
and also,
sounds about right.
People were expecting him to miss. In his career, he was only...
Or who's people?
The
broadcasters? I think Al Michaels was calling that game.
He was 1 for 5 on kicks 40-plus yards on grass in his career. So he kept up with what he normally did.
How the fuck are you only taking 5 kicks on grass in your entire career?
In his career at that point. Isn't that insane?
And they also still kicked with their toes back then, I think. So I don't know how you kick a ball at all.
And I did a little research on this. The reason why he missed was because the lacers were faced to the right a little bit, which made the ball angle a little bit to the right when he kicked it, which is why it missed by about 1 foot to the right. If the laces were out and straight, they would have won.
Because it was like he kicked it straight. It was just straight to the right. Like it didn't move. Like it was, yeah.
Do you think,
thank God,
if they had won that Super Bowl, I don't think they would have lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. I feel like they could have won 3 or 4 in a row.
They get the Cowboys kick the shit out of them every fucking time. They would have had no chance. They would have had a little bit more confidence. Maybe they would have lost by 30 instead of whatever the fuck it was.
Well, they lost to the Cowboys, the Redskins.
Oh, the Redskins
and the Giants.
Yeah,
the NFC East.
Cowboys twice, the Redskins and the Giants. Yeah, that was the only one they were close
East.
in. The Redskins kicked the shit out of them too. So yeah, they probably still get killed. Poor Buffalo.
And I have some wrestling events that happened on this day.
Ooh.
On this day in 2019, Seth Rollins won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it was there as a tool.
On this day in 2013, Juan Cena won the Royal Rumble. You know, I miss this. Do you know how short the Royal Rumble pay-per-view used to be? Like, there used to be like 3 matches plus the Royal Rumble. Nowadays, it's like 7 matches, then you get 2 Royal Rumbles. It's like 9 hours. It's ridiculous.
They're in a fucking arena, so they want to fucking. And there's also there is also 2 Royal Rumbles, which is a lot. Especially being there, because you get all the fucking Royal Rumble fun, and then yours is another fucking Royal Rumble. God damn, like it was a lot.
There's one more Royal Rumble that happened on this day. In 2008 at MSG,
John Cena's return.
Saw John Cena's return randomly, like unexpected. This was like before Twitter.
There was no
spoilers.
Rumor. There was not even a thought in my mind that John Cena was coming back. He just tore his pec like pretty recently.
Not even 6 months. It was like 3 or 4 months before that.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was during a match against Mr.
That was at the height of like fuck John Cena. And everyone still cheered because it was fucking amazing. And then
I remember that. I remember exactly where we were sitting. We lost our shit. That was on this date 14 years ago.
Yeah, we were sitting here. The ring was here, and the entrance was one of the side ones.
Yep.
And we had to run through Grand Central to catch our train at the end.
Yes, we did.
Where did we even get the train from? Fucking like
Probably
one of the New York
Brewster
ones.
North, I think. I think Brewster North.
Because I don't remember anything except running through Grand Central after the show to try to get our train. Which
I
we
think
made in
it
time.
was called Brewster North back then, but now it's called Southeast. It's like 20 minutes
Southeast.
from there.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense. Because I don't remember anything else about that trip other than fucking Just Harvey, and I couldn't remember Mike.
Wow.
I couldn't remember Mike Adamley's name the entire night. I'd be like, "What was the guy's name?" Like Mike Adamley. I couldn't remember Adamley for some reason. It was one of those names that just wouldn't stick.
I completely forgot that Jimmy Snuka and Roddy Piper were in that Rumble.
Yeah, and they fought each other.
JBL fought Jericho for the title.
Did he?
Yeah.
I know Orton fought Jeff Hardy. Just Harvey.
Just Harvey.
I'm still convinced he says Just Harvey, not just
he 100% does.
Jeff
He
Harvey.
does.
He says Just Harvey. Just Harvey. Hardy. In fact, everyone starts booing the fucking guy.
So the other matches that happened at that, Orton, Jeff Hardy, Edge defeated Rey Mysterio.
Wasn't there like Ric Flair had one of his like retirement matches where if he lost, it was against like Carlito or some fucking random shit.
So close. It was against MVP.
It was one of those fucking obscure mid-carders. Yeah.
And then JBL beat Jericho by disqualification.
I honestly don't remember Jericho having a singles match at that
Do
point.
you want to know what the dark match was?
Yes.
Deuces and Domino lost to Jimmy Wang Yang
Just call
and
him
Shannon Moore.
Deuces and Domino.
Deuces
And Domino. Multiple deuces. Deuces and Domino. Who did they lose to? Shannon
Jimmy
Moore.
Wang Yang and Shannon Moore.
Deuce and Domino couldn't even beat them. God damn.
Hornswoggle was in the Rumble. No recollection of that. Also, recollection.
Was that the one where Finley came out right after him?
With the Shillelagh,
yeah,
and got disqualified. Finley was actually supposed to be the 27th entrant.
Disqualified in a fucking Rumble.
No Elijah Burke was in it. Big Daddy V.
Yeah, not a
Mick
great
Foley.
Rumble. They had the Snuka, Piper, and Cena, and then that was, I think, it. I don't really remember anyone else. It wasn't like 2011 where they had fucking 40 guys and like 10 of them were surprises.
Oh, I remember we were at that one too. And then the guy was like,
we were on the floor.
Big Daddy Cool, Booker T. That was
the camera guy whose daughter died. Like years later. It was just a random graphic was like she died. And I was like, it was that fucking guy. Yeah. He's one of the ones that Stone Cold would mess with all the time.
With all of the freaking people, and we'll obviously talk about the Royal Rumble more next week and we'll wrap up in a second. How come they don't have more than 30 now? Like with all the people that you could have, and it should be 40 every year at this point.
I thought they would at least do that again, like once in a while. Like, I wonder why they did it randomly that one year. Like, have somebody break the foot. Well, they did do the stupid Saudi one, which was like 50.
Or the greatest Royal Rumble with 50.
And like Daniel Bryan now has the record, which I don't consider that. Like, you shouldn't count that as the Royal Rumble. Like, just because it's a Royal Rumble match, that shouldn't. I'm not counting that. But yeah, we'll go Royal Rumble heavy next week and rank all of those. And if we're sick of rankings, maybe TGI Friday will get pushed out a couple weeks, but that's on the radar for next week. Royal Rumble rankings, and then whatever the hell happens in sports. That was a pretty good episode. A lot of sports heavy. So if you don't like sports, sorry about that. But
sorry,
we have to amuse ourselves. So we thought this was a good week because the Hall of Fame happened, NFL playoffs, all that bullshit. So thank you for listening, and we will see you again next week.
Bye.
I was waiting for it.